Have you ever felt isolated, unwanted, ununderstandable, and alone, even if you're amidst of a crowd or even in your own friend circle? Well, if you have, this video might just be for you. Hello everyone, this is Ria and I am here today to talk about how teenage affected me and how I always felt like I have wasted my teenage. And I just wanted to put it out there so that people who might feel the same or are going through the same thing might understand it a little better and may not feel that way anymore. I wanted to share with people what I felt when my teenage years were about to come to an end. Well, they are about to come to an end actually. I am 19 years old and soon turning 20. Well, a few months back we wouldn't have been this happy accepting it, but I have learned a lot of things in past few months and I believe I have grown a lot in that sense. And I wanted to share the things I have learned or understand a little bit better with you all so that people who might be going through the same things try to understand those things a little better and feel a little better about them. So before turning 20, I just wanted to put it all out there, even if no one is watching it, even if nobody cares. I just wanted to be out of my system. So yeah. So moving on to the video, when I turned 19 last year, during the initial months after my birthday, I was a little bit lost within myself. Why do I say so? Because I always have felt since my teenage that I haven't enjoyed my teenage enough. I haven't achieved the things I wanted to achieve. I haven't done things that people are doing in their teenage, and I always have felt left behind. All right, but when I turned 19 this year and it all struck to me all together, and I felt like I can't push it any further because 19 is the line. It's the border when you're 19 or your teens are gonna end and you are going to enter your 20s, because turning 20 or entering your 20s is really a big deal for you if you think about it regularly. So last year I felt very bad for my teenage years coming to an end, and I felt like I haven't achieved anything I wanted to, or I haven't been to places I've wanted to, eaten the food I've wanted to tried new dresses, made new friends, tried hanging out with friends at night outs, parties and all, and stuff. And because of it, I just concluded myself that I have wasted my teenage completely. And I believe many people in here or out there might feel the same, that they have wasted their teenage and they might carry the regret to their 20s. But 20s, I believe, is not for carrying regrets. It's for carrying memories, carrying happiness, and carrying a lot of joy for a new beginning. And I wanted to sort it a little out for myself too and for you all before entering your 20s, or even if you have entered your 20s and still regretting about your teenage. I wanted to tell you that it is not over yet. So the moment it struck me that I haven't enjoyed my teenage as much as other people have, and I haven't done anything great or anything memorable or anything that will remind me to cherish my teenage, I started to think about it a lot. I didn't did anything. I didn't went out and made the best of the left time for my teenage to end, but I was constantly thinking about how I wasted my teenage, how I didn't achieved anything, how it was all worthless, useless, and I completely isolated myself in my house, in my room, constantly thinking about it and constantly regretting my past. I felt like I have made zero progress throughout my teenage. I have always pushed things to next year, and it was never done. So one day what happened, I am a uni student and I was at university when a group of people came in front of me and they sat there. I was alone in my class at that moment and there was this group of people sitting in front of me. I don't know them and they don't know me either, obviously. We are in the same department but we haven't interacted before. And they sit beside me and they were talking something about their future goals and stuff like that. And I got curious because I also wanted to know and be a part of that conversation. So, first time ever in university, I approach a group and talk to them. It was, I was nervous, of course, because these are the steps that are really hard to take, but I did it nonetheless. And when I talked to them, I realized that I haven't. I am not the only one who have wasted my teenage. I'm not the only one who thinks that I have wasted my teenage. When I talked to them, their Instagram feed was like my Pinterest bucket list board. And it was so mesmerizing. They had everything I wanted. They have been to places I haven't before. They have tried different culture, traveled a lot, and it was just majestic to see their profiles. And when I started talking to them, things started coming to the surface. And when we talked deeply about this topic of how I envy them, they told me that there is nothing to envy them for. They told me that every one of them had issues. Some were going through family issues, some were going through relationship issues, someone have lost their loved ones, someone is regretting their past. Everybody had something they were regretting at that moment, and nobody was actually feeling really happy about what they have experienced and what they have not. That's when I realized that me thinking that I have wasted my teenage completely is such a silly thought compared to what these people are feeling. Like, to have lost your loved one, at least I should be glad that I am surrounded by my loved ones. My family is beside me. I should be glad about the fact and shouldn't be crying in a corner about how I have wasted my teenage. Like, come on. So, the major thing I learned was that the thing which actually makes us feel bad and have regrets is this term called comparison. Yes, it sounds silly, and you might be thinking, oh, we knew that. But do you actually know that? When I talked to them, I realized that I was not feeling bad because I have wasted my teenage or I haven't had fun during my teenage. What I was feeling bad about was I haven't had enough fun as other people have. I was comparing myself to the people whom I even don't know about. I haven't talked to them. I don't know about their family issues. I don't know how hard the time is for them right now. And I was just thinking that they are the most happy person in the world to be right now, and I just want to be one of them. But this realization was hard and it changed my mindset in many ways. First thing would be comparing myself to others. I I wouldn't say that I have completely stopped comparing myself to others. Our mindset is built in such a way that it is not easy to stop comparing yourself with others in a single day. But we can grow. We can grow step by step. We can do it regularly and we can get out of it. Now, comparison is not always a bad thing. But why not compare ourselves in a good manner than in a bad one? For example, instead of comparing myself with a higher authority and whining about how he has all the privileges and I don't, why don't I compare myself with the people who have even less than I do, who are going through things that I can't even imagine? Why not compare myself with them? Why not see that how much the God has gifted us and how much we already have and we should be thankful of, than to compare to the things that we don't have? It sounds really childish to state this simple fact that comparison is the killer of joy, but at the end of the day, it was never about us, and it was always about others. We never thought that we are doing bad. We always thought that other people are doing better than us. We never thought that we are doing better than so many other people and we should be thankful about it, but it was always comparing ourselves with the higher authority or more needs or greeds. And to put myself more clearly, believe me, never ever trust everything you see in social media. Right now, you are seeing me explaining this, how we shouldn't compare ourselves to others, how it always brings negativity towards us. But to be honest, even I haven't left the thought of comparing myself to the others yet. But we are working on it, and I want us to work together on it to shatter this mindset and grow beyond it. People take time to grow, people take time to heal, and people take time to break the boundaries and rise above them. When it comes to social media, people do not share their struggles in it. Even you don't. The purpose of social media is to share happy moments with others. It's to remind you that you have been happy in the past and these were your joyous moments. Social media is not meant to share your hardships and struggles. It is meant to keep your happy memories in it, and people do so. They only share their happy memories, they only share their joyous moment. It's not because they don't want to show you that they have struggled or they don't want to share their struggles. It's because when they look back on their social media, they want to see how happy they have been and how joyful moment they have experienced in their lives. So if you share the mentality of thinking that a person can be happy 365 days in a year, no, you're completely wrong. People go through hardships, people go through problems, but they solve it on their own. They overcome their hardships. Similarly, I wouldn't admit that I have left behind the idea of comparing myself to others. I do still compare myself to others, and those are the breakdown points of the month. But I have started to learn and grow as an individual. I have started to appreciate things that I have been provided by my family and God. So instead of regretting your entire teenage, you might as well be happy and joyful about entering your 20s, which I am now very excited about. And let's do all the things we have been wanted to do in our teenage in our 20s, because life doesn't end when we enter our 20s. Last thing I heard of. We can still visit new places, we can still try new delicious food, wear new amazing dresses, experience new culture, new languages, and I hope it's for the best. Oh my god, there are so many things that we can do in our 20s. Hope we don't waste it on comparing ourselves to others. Also, this time when we do it, let's not do it for the joy of comparing ourselves with others, but instead making ourselves happy and feeling real about it. So thank you, that's all I had to share for today's video. I didn't even realize when it became a motivational video instead of me sharing my thoughts. And with that, I hope that this video made few people feel a little better about themselves and helped them grow. That's all I wish for. Thank you. Until next.